taking a beating in the first 4 games. Pulse having an issue taking the ace match.
Yep.
So the next players up for Pulse is going to be Ineffable, and Miszu is going to remain on the field for Orbit. We have some info on Ineffable, I believe.
Yeah, we sure do. Ineffable plays for Pulse Gaming, and he started StarCraft 2 only 18 months ago. And apparently he broke his leg last summer, which forced him to stay relatively indoors for the most part. So he spent that time training and was able to get into Master League. He did play in the last WCG Canada qualifier, and he finished top 4. He only lost to Henderlisk, which, if you follow StarCraft 2, is a known name in the top-tier pro leagues.
I was going to say, I remember seeing Henderlisk at the last MLG. It seemed like he did pretty well.
Yeah. Thanks again for joining us this evening, guys. That big thanks to DOS Keyboard for sponsoring the tournament.
Setting up our scoreboard again. Again, when I set these scores, the overlay is going to switch for a moment, so bear with me. I'll fix it.
Still trying to work out some of the kinks in the hotkeys.
Oh, hey. It didn't this time, because the teams were on the right side.
All right.
Indeed. So we have Ineffable versus Miszu. And it is 4-2 in favor of Pulse Gaming.
It looks like our players have actually chosen the correct races this time, so we won't see an off-race battle.
It is a fact that off-race loses games sometimes, doesn't it?
It does happen.
But hey, it makes it interesting, right?
It sure does. It definitely does.
So we'll take a moment here again to welcome everybody to the stream. We're happy to have you here. We ask that if you have any feedback at all, you please just let us know. Follow us on Twitter. Follow me at Wingnutsc. If I switch the overlay back, you can see what we're actually doing here as opposed to watching my pause game. There we go. Sorry about that. Follow me at Wingnutsc. Follow Gallegation at Gallegation. Follow StarCraft 2 Community Team League at SC2CTL. We'll be casting here Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8:30 to 10:30 every week, except next week. That's a good reminder. I'm going to be on vacation next week, so we are not going to be casting next week. But after next week, I believe August 6th, it's a Tuesday, we'll be back, and we'll be back for the duration of the CTL. So... And
Better than ever.
We'll be tweeting about all of our matches that we're going to be casting, so take a moment to follow everything. And
looks like we have a good suggestion from chat, changing the health bars from team color to normal color.
We'll take that in mind. We definitely enjoy the feedback. We already recrafted a lot of things from our first cast on Tuesday, so happy to have the feedback. Appreciate that. And let's jump into game 6.
Feel free to tweet those suggestions at us. It's easier for us to keep track of them if they get saved there as opposed to in the Twitch chat, but we'll try and write them down and be aware of them. Absolutely. So thank you so much.
Tweeting the suggestions is always a good suggestion. And we'll be giving out a couple of our secret codes here after this game.
Oh my goodness, we've totally forgotten to do that, haven't we?
We haven't forgotten. We're just planning on doing it later.
Oh, that's right.
So to introduce our players, on the bottom right side from Team Orbit, on a 2-game winning streak, trying to bring his team back into it after losing 4, it's Miszu.
And in the top left, trying to secure the win for Pulse Gaming, it is the Protoss in the teal trunks, Ineffable.
He is ineffable, isn't he?
You know, I'm not sure. I haven't...
I said that, of course, not knowing the definition. Sounds good. So Miszu, as last time, deciding to build his buildings inside his base as opposed at the ramp.
It worked out well for him last time, so let's see what happens again.
Thanks Tabishi for the input and also for sending it to us on Twitter so that we can remember it. That is definitely the way to help us to remember it, is to send it to us on Twitter.
Yeah, but you know, Aaron and I both take forget-me-nows at the end of the casting, so we have no idea. We have to watch the VODs later.
Exactly. Which we do actually usually end up watching our own VODs. At least I do. I enjoy it.
hopefully clothed.
Who said anything about that? So it looks like Ineffable is going to be putting down a gas and a second gas after his gateway. This is fairly standard. I almost want to see with this probe coming out if we're not going to have a proxy Stargate, because this is definitely a sequence of events that works out with doing that, with this Cybernetics core coming down right as that second gas finishes.
And it looks like it's going into a location that would be profitable for that particular build.
Indeed. Yep, looks like that's what we're going to have. One of my favorite builds against Terran. It just seems like it's very strong usually. The only thing that I typically have a issue with sometimes is that early Reaper. If you don't get the Stalker Mothership core out in time, that can be a bit of a headache, especially because if they get that Reaper in, they can see you're missing a pylon, because at this time of the game you would expect to see 2 pylons in someone's base, but when you see only one, you know, and this number of probes, you know there's got to be another one somewhere.
Miszu deciding not even to scout, just puts down a proxy factory.
Aha, so it's going to be some proxy mines potentially. I wonder
a game of proxies.
I wonder though if he's going to fly it up here and land it to get the mine out. I predict that he will, and I know that I can tell you that my predictions are purely predictions because we have not cheated by watching these games ahead of time. So
maintaining journalistic integrity.
Man, that was a very prompt lift too. That the support structures that the buildings have as they're building barely got out of the way in time for that factory to lift up.
And when you see it sitting on that peninsula, you'd think that it was before that building.
Miszu did see the Stargate of Ineffable, so he's also going to know that there's an Oracle coming out of there by the animation in the central area with it warping in, so he's going to know that that's coming. What's he going to do about it?
He is repositioning his Marines a little bit to try and intercept.
He is supply blocked also. This Oracle
1 Marine falls, 2, 3, 4. Only half the hull damage is done on that Oracle, so it's going to be unchallenged as it deals SCV death. 6 workers killed, 7 now.
Oh, the workers are in a... the good thing the Oracle ran out of energy because those workers were sandwiched in a pretty nasty spot. Looks like a Stalker comes in to help, but he's confused as to what his marching orders were.
Yeah, he's just kind of running around trying to micro away from that Marine, but those SCVs are saying, you're going to stay right where we tell you to.
We did, however, miss the mine that went off in Ineffable's mineral line, so the workers killed number is identical almost. Another mine is
Second
just
one
hanging out there trying to decide what to do, but...
Ineffable decides to pull all his probes, and the mine gives chase.
That was a nice unburrow by that one probe, I was going to say, avoiding killing only one probe, but it does end up doing that when he reburrows it. Hey, SC2CTL's chatting to us in the chat. That's weird. He said this is a mad, silly game, and it is. Oh, that mine. Get it, Stalker. So... Ineffable's in a rough spot in his base. He's
yes,
quite
no mining,
quite constricted as to what he can do. All the probes are trapped out in the backyard when after Mom said that they were just locked out of the house after not doing their homework.
And here's the difficult thing that you have to do with mines when you're playing with only mines is the offensive reposition, trying to trap units between your burrows.
Yeah, he's walking those 2 mines ever so slightly closer to that Stalker to get him trapped in the corner. Looks like the probes do decide to come in as the Oracle comes back and uses some fancy detection ability that they gained in Heart of the Swarm. That's their new unit from the Mothership Core. That was weird when they moved that ability from the Mothership Core at first, but now it seems like a really great idea. I'm glad they put it on the Oracle. In this situation, since you don't have a robo, you do have the ability to have some detection up, always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the mining has just been delayed for so long for Ineffable.
Yeah, he is so far behind at this point. He's really going to have to work hard to get back in this.
And Miszu's been able to catch up in the worker battle too because he had that second command center there. Workers killed is 8 for Miszu, 7 for Ineffable. So really not a huge factor there, but the factor's been that Ineffable has not been able to mine for a good several minutes here.
We see 9 Marines for Miszu against 1 Stalker and 2 Oracles. Those Oracles are going to go back in, see if they can do some damage, try and get him back in this game as those Marines reposition to try and put up a defensive position.
Those oracles are gaining energy quickly and do have a decent amount of energy, so they can come in here and do quite a bit of damage to this natural expansion if they hurry, because there's a turret going up, so they must be quick if they want to take that SCV out. But that bunker is going to deflect them a bit, and it's going to be real close whether they can get this turret out, and they kill the SCV, so that's going to be some more economic damage for Ineffable, which is what he needs right now. He needs to do as much economic damage as he can, because he's still trying to claw his way back from not being able to mine for several minutes.
Marines running around trying to take care of those oracles. In the meantime, they're killing more and more SCVs. Workers killed, swings into the favor.
Oh, another mine shot just went off in Ineffable's base, taking out more probes for Ineffable, and that's going to even up the worker count once again.
This is just a probe killing game. We're not going to worry about any army units whatsoever, just trying to kill all the worker bees.
Yeah, so Ineffable did a good move of getting those oracles in there to try and even it up, but in the meantime, that
mine's about to cool off again.
About to go again.
Ooh!
Boom goes the dynamite.
All right, you're done.
Looks like the
stalkers do see that factory, and it does lift up after putting out that mine. It does burrow to try and defend its getaway.
Not a whole lot coming out of both of these players at the moment. Miszu just getting some upgrades now. Ineffable doing a whole lot of nothing, actually, just because...
Well, he doesn't have any money.
He has money. He's got 495 minerals. He's just busy trying to keep his probes away from that silly mine.
That's true. Well, he does only have 13 probes at the moment.
He does. So. Looks like a loaded medevac heading its way across the map. That factory's still in the picture, so it can come back later once Ineffable forgets about it and make some more mines to cause some more trouble.
And Mizu's mining right now is 3 times that of Ineffable. Their gas production is about the same, though.
Yeah, if we look at income, about 1,000 minerals a minute for Miszu and 300 for Ineffable. That's just gonna lead you behind.
And now we have a loaded medevac coming in, gonna do more probe damage.
More medevac-y damage.
Yes. Full up on Marines. Ineffable. And those stalkers are heading across the map, so they are not going to be able to defend against this.
Oh, I feel so bad for Ineffable in this situation. Everybody hates the drop at your base. Once you move your army across the map, Ineffable, now realizing what's up, brings his army back. These probes doing a dance on one of the mineral patches to try and stay out of the way. Ineffable trying to make a poke, but alas, he's still... Miszu doing a great job of keeping him in his base.
That Void Ray does move forward, try to snipe that medevac, uses its prismatic alignment, that's what the word is. But the medevac does boost and gets the heck out of dodge.
Miszu now moving out of his base with his group of Marines Marauders and a single medevac. I'm guessing this other medevac is going to try and meet up at some point. Single Void Ray and Stalker, now a sentry warping in at that proxy pylon. They're going to have a meet in the middle here to see what they can do. This Oracle's going to move in and see that Miszu is moving across the map.
This is going to be a tough battle for Ineffable to win, as the Terran player has double the food, and Ineffable is just losing air units. Stalker goes down. Those two, the Oracle and the Void Ray, are just very low on health. And Ineffable GG's.
Oh, that must be a rough GG too. That was definitely a game of solid harassment pretty much from the get-go.
Absolutely. You know, Ineffable just had a really hard time dealing with all those mines in the mineral line, all that lost mining time. You know, what are you going to do against that? You just got to figure out a way to get those out of there and keep mining, you know?
So we're left in a situation now where Pulse came up 4-0 in the beginning, coming to the point where one game would seal the deal, but now Orbit has come back with 2-3 wins of their own. So now the series is at 4-3. So in the next game, is Miszu going to come and tie it up and potentially be in a position to take the lead, or is Pulse going to finally be able to seal the deal?
Well, Miszu, you know, is showing very strongly, very similar to Mumming in the first few games that we saw. So, you know, it could be anybody's game still if he keeps playing this well.
It is, but, you know, that's the interesting thing. It only takes one person that's on a hot streak to really turn the tides, because, I mean, in the beginning it was it was Mumming that came out for Pulse. He just tore through every opponent, every race that he came across, and put his team in just a commanding position. But then Miszu came out, and he's been doing the same thing for